Mahomes and Andy Reid headed back to the Sunshine State for a second year in a row. Well, they will take on one Thomas Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady back in the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick 7-9. So maybe we can start to put that argument to rest a little bit, the whole who made whom argument. Bill Belichick losing record without Tom Brady. Tom Brady once again in the Super Bowl, less than 12 months removed from leaving the Death Star that resides in New England. And Brady in the process, without the defensive-minded genius that is Bill Belichick, could knock off Breeze, Rodgers, and, to be decided, Mahomes en route to his 7th Super Bowl win. And look, I have every reason in the world to dislike Tom Brady. Most of us do. For me, he went to Michigan. I went to Ohio State. He embarrassed the Bengals on several occasions, including the now infamous "we're on to Cincinnati" game when the Bengals were 4-0, went on national TV, and got slapped around. By the way, the whole "is Brady done" argument that led up to the "on to Cincinnati" comment was courtesy of a beatdown from the Chiefs and Andy Reid with Alex Smith at the time, I believe, at quarterback. And Tom Brady's a pretty boy from California. I've got all these reasons to not like him, but I cannot hate the greatness. He's back there for the 10th time. It's frustrating, but it will be over soon. I like it a lot more now that he's in the NFC, and I don't really have a dog in the fight. Not that the team I root for would necessarily have had a shot during Brady's run in the AFC anyways, but you get the point. Now we've got Mahomes to deal with for the next 50 years. I said it last week, championship weekend will have a huge impact on legacies. Mahomes is now a win away from that elite club of back-to-back Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Tom Brady, and now a win away from Super Bowl number 7, which I don't know will ever be topped. And I know it's kind of apples to oranges, but people do like to argue, okay, Michael Jordan, GOAT, had 6. Not the GOAT, by the way, but he had 6. Tom Brady gets 7. Does that launch him into that greatest athlete of all time top spot? That's all to be determined. The one thing I did not think about was the negative aspect of legacies in what we now see with Aaron Rodgers, who has lost 4 straight NFC championships. Something that's kind of difficult to imagine, and I'll get into Rodgers later. Most of the episode today is going to be the Good Old Football Podcast regular season awards. We'll give those out in a minute. But Aaron Rodgers now kind of has that legacy, right? Before you could blame Mike McCarthy, before you could blame this, that, his receiver had one of the best seasons of all time. He got to play at home, couldn't score 30 points, and you can blame the coach. You can also blame Rodgers for not running it in on third down there. There's just a lot to unravel with Aaron Rodgers, and we can do that later. Right now, we can enjoy the weeks leading up to the Super Bowl and still enjoy Aaron Rodgers. I really do hope he leaves Green Bay, by the way, just to see what else is out there. And I said, I've said this before, I think once he leaves, I think Green Bay is going to be in trouble. I think they got so lucky replacing him with Brett Favre. If you just kind of look at the boneheadedness of what they've done outside of getting the right quarterback for the last 30 years, because there's only been 2 guys. Favre's been there since, 92, 93 maybe, and Aaron Rodgers now. So when you get that, it covers up a lot of other holes. But outside of that, they've made a lot of decisions. I mean, I know it's been beat to death at this point, but the Jordan Love call this year, my God, could they have used another cornerback on Sunday? Cornerback. Obviously, quarterback, they've got another one. He didn't play a snap on Sunday. We'll talk more about Rodgers. That's a little bit of foreshadowing. But for now, let's get right into it. It's the 2020 Good Old Football Podcast Regular Season Awards. All right, how about that? We got Frank on the bass over there today and Jimmy on the drums. Appreciate it, fellas. Comeback Player of the Year. Was hoping this one would be A.J. Green of the Cincinnati Bengals. Of course it was not. A.J. had a rough go of it during Joe Burrow's first season. No fault of really either of theirs. Just wasn't there. We'll see what happens with A.J. Maybe he can win it somewhere next year. But the obvious winner for this one Alex Smith of the Washington football team, who nearly died. Nearly lost his leg and just casually comes back and is, a pretty good starting quarterback in the NFL after nearly losing an entire leg, which last I checked is crucial to the quarterback position. The runner-up here, is one Baker Mayfield, and I have to do that because last year I gave him the win away player of the year because he went away a little bit. Last year, Baker Mayfield was, and again, he's the runner-up, Alex Smith the obvious winner, but last year Baker Mayfield, after that excellent rookie season, seemed to digress under one Frederick Kitchens. He had 22 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. This year, 26 touchdowns to just 8 interceptions. Baker got a lot better. 17 higher points in the passer rating category, so Baker's the runner-up for comeback player of the year. Good for him, but the winner, of course, is Alex Smith. This year's win-away player of the year on the Good Old Football Podcast. It pains me to do it. I'm giving 2 bad awards to fellow Buckeyes today. The win-away player of the year goes to Ezekiel Elliott of the Dallas Cowboys. 6 straight games without a touchdown. He makes $15 million a year. 9 straight games without a rushing touchdown. Zeke, what's going on? I know Dak Prescott was hurt. I know Andy Dalton wasn't what you wanted him to be. I know Mike McCarthy is probably a really bad football coach, but somehow got another excellent job in the NFL. But when you're making $15 million a year and you set a new precedent for when running backs get paid, you got to show up more than Zeke did this year. Had, let's see here, less than 1,000 yards, had 979 yards. I mean, rushing touchdowns, if you drafted Zeke early on, he had 6 rushing touchdowns on the year. That's rough, especially when you consider that 2 of them came in one game. Had 1 multi-touchdown, and that was against the Giants. Zeke only had 2 100-yard rushing games. He had 2. 2 100-yard rushing games this year. And he's solid in the pass game, too. But, man, that's rough for a guy making that much money to not even hit the 1,000-yard mark. Get back at it, Zeke. We are rooting for you. Carson Wentz, the runner-up in that category, by the way. Don't think I need to go into that one. Your Rookie of the Year. A lot of people are probably going to give this one to Justin Herbert of the Chargers. I'm giving it to a different Justin. Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. His yards and touchdowns are almost identical to DeAndre Hopkins on 35 fewer targets. Justin Jefferson's quarterback is Kirk Cousins. You could do worse, but you could certainly do better. He came in there along with Adam what is his name? Adam something. Adam Thielen. Too many Adams in the NFL. Along with Adam Thielen, picked right up where Stephon Diggs left off. He is my Rookie of the Year. And James Robinson, a close runner-up on that, the undrafted rookie running back for the Jaguars. Really, I don't even know what his numbers were, but to be undrafted and be like top 6 or 7 in the league in rushing, excellent. Chase Young, the obvious defensive rookie of the year. He looks like a polar bear that they disguised so he could play football. He is going to be excellent for a long time to come. Speaking of excellence, defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald is going to edge out TJ Watt. The reason being, it's the eye test for me. I decided not even to look at who did what as far as stats go. Aaron Donald, every time I watch him, he pushes offensive linemen in the NFL around, guys who are 6'6", 6'7". He pushes them around like they're blindfolded toddlers every single week. As long as he keeps doing that, he'll be the best defender in football. TJ Watt will probably get this during the NFL awards because they like to change it up. And he was great. If he gets it, good, fine. But on the Good Old Football Podcast, it's Aaron Donald. He's getting to that LeBron level of greatness where we can't even appreciate what a monster he is because he just does it so often. Offensive Player of the Year, I was stunned to realize that Devontae Adams, the Green Bay Packers receiver, he had 18 touchdowns. Am I the only one who did not know this? Am I not paying enough attention despite the fact that I host a football podcast? 18 touchdowns. Only Randy Moss in 2007 and Jerry Rice in 1987 had more. Devontae Adams is our Offensive Player of the Year. Listen to this. So Devontae Adams, 18 touchdowns. The New York Jets' entire team only had 26. They only scored half a touchdown game more than Adams. Devontae Adams, Offensive Player of the Year. A new award inspired by some Chicago Bears thing I saw on Instagram. This one is the Jay Cutler Doesn't Care Award. And this year it goes, once again, I didn't even realize this when I was doing this. I gave the 2 negative awards to my fellow Buckeye alums. You know who this is by now. Dwayne Haskins. Dude, you're already in the doghouse, and then you decide to party it up maskless at a strip club. I like Dwayne. If you listen to this podcast, you know I like Dwayne. I still have faith in him. I'm glad Pittsburgh signed him. I think he can do good things in the league. Go back and look at his Ohio State tape. He threw some absolute dimes. Not just some, regularly. Put the ball in tight windows. I thought for sure he would work out. He still may. But I couldn't not give this award to him. You are playing for a billion-dollar organization in the nation's capital, kind of by default, but you're pretty much the face of the franchise the last couple years. Oh, by the way, there's a global pandemic going on, and with all of the unsanitary places you could go, not a truck stop bathroom, not a preschool, you choose a gentleman's lounge. Maybe it could have only been worse if you were smoking a cigarette and sharing a sandwich with one of the employees. Dwayne, my guy, you got to do better. You are the winner of the Jay Cutler Doesn't Care Award. I'm glad he's in Pittsburgh. We'll see if he can get things together there. I still know that the arm talent's there. I retweeted a while back a Washington Post article. It seems like the best thing for him is to be away from the people that he grew up with. It seems like, I don't know about a bad situation, but we see this a lot in the NFL, or at least we hear about it a lot in the NFL. Guys go to where they grew up, they start hanging out with their high school friends who, guess what, haven't matured since high school, and then you kind of maybe don't have your focus where it is. Again, I don't know that that is necessarily 100% the case, but there seem to be some signs that point to maybe being around his old crowd was not the best thing for him. We'll see what he does with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next up, Coach of the Year goes to, of course, Kevin Jeremiah Stefanski. He broke the curse. He got the Browns a playoff win on the road in Pittsburgh. I think you could probably say he's already the best coach he's had this century. I mean, Butch Davis can be there in the conversation. He went right in year one during a pandemic, by the way, where they can't get in the meeting rooms together. They can't do this. He figured it out. Aside from that Jets blunder in Week 16, they had no real duds when you look at their schedule. And then again, I mean, and I know the Steelers were trending downward, but to go on the road in the NFL and get a playoff win is huge. And he did it while he had coronavirus. I mean, this is right up there with Alex Smith nearly losing his leg. Kevin Stefanski, your Coach of the Year. Most Valuable Player, this is an award that the league gets wrong a lot. They always give it to the best player. For me, it's the player most important to his team. That's what valuable means. If they're not going to give it to that player, they should change the name of the award. Value. Who provides the most value? We'll start with my third place guy, the second runner-up, some may say, King Henry. Derrick Henry of the Tennessee Titans, 2,023 rushing yards, 17 touchdowns, 5.5 yards a carry. Here's the thing about him. Defenses know what's coming, and he punches them straight in the throat anyways. You cannot stop him, except for Baltimore in the playoffs. But they aren't in the playoffs to begin with. They don't win the division if not for Derrick Henry. He is my number 3 finisher in the most valuable player category. Our runner-up, he's playing in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady. Tampa has not made the playoffs for 13 years. Brady shows up. They win 3 straight playoff road games to make the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? I mean, how much more can he cement the legacy? You can certainly argue he should win this award. I thought last year you could argue LeBron wins MVP in the NBA because if he doesn't go to Los Angeles, neither does Anthony Davis, neither do all those studs, and who knows? It's kind of the same thing, right? Except they already had great receivers. That's why he went there. But they don't have Leonard Fournette if he's not there. They probably don't draft Tristan Wirfs. They maybe stick with Jameis Winston a little longer. They don't get Antonio Brown, who is kind of coming on. I hate to admit it. Leonard Fournette, who knows? Tom Brady, you could argue, should win MVP for the culture he's created. He's going to be all right if he gets a Super Bowl trophy. He'll certainly be all right just getting there for a 10th time and furthering his legacy. I'm so sick of saying that already and hearing it. So further. Tom Brady's a runner-up for the MVP. The winner of the Good Old Football Podcast MVP award. I kind of hate to give him to it because it's the obvious choice. Aaron Rodgers. And he deserves plenty of criticism for losing 4 straight NFC championships, sure. But in the regular season, he's great. 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions this year. And kind of what I hinted at the beginning of the podcast, and I wanted to get to now, is sure, he's MVP of the league this year. But what we're seeing from him is so similar to what we saw from Peyton Manning, right? Always the best in the regular season, but typically disappoints in the postseason. And then I looked this up, and it's wild. In the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers is 11-9, 2 games above 500. don't have to look it up. He's much better than that in the regular season. In the playoffs, Peyton Manning was 14-3, one game above 500, and just 9-10 with the Colts. He had a losing playoff record with the Colts. Aaron Rodgers, you should leave Green Bay. It worked out for Peyton Manning. He went to Denver, and he made the playoffs. He made the Super Bowl, twice in 4 years in Denver? He made it twice in 11 years in Indianapolis. I'm telling you, I don't think either franchise is really that good. They've both just been lucky enough to draft great quarterbacks. I think Aaron Rodgers should leave. I don't think that he will. I think the speculation is fun. But, man, can you imagine? I mean, you're telling me if Aaron Rodgers says to Pittsburgh, hey, I want to come there, they don't tell Ben, look, dude, you got to hit the road. I mean, he could go to New England. He could go to Denver, where I think they're a pretty good team. Obviously, Von Miller is out. What happened with Von Miller's investigation, by the way? Remember, that was a big thing one day, like Von Miller is being investigated. Now I got to look it up because I said it and I don't want to sound like an idiot. I don't know. We'll look it up right now. This is from January 15th. So 10 days ago on TMZ. He is under criminal investigation. And yeah, nothing new since then. Well, hopefully it's all good, you know? We don't want to see any trouble. But anyways, if Aaron Rodgers can go anywhere. Whether or not the Packers will allow that, whether or not he does want to do that, I mean, to me, that stat jumped out. If you remember when Peyton Manning was with the Colts, it was always, my God, why can't they get him a defense? Went to Denver where he had a defense, took 4 years, made the Super Bowl twice. So, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers wants to jump ship, now's the time to do it, man. Now, is that the issue? I don't know. I don't know. They certainly have irritated him with the draft picks. There's going to be openings. There's always openings when you're Aaron freaking Rodgers, obviously. So we will see what happens there. It'll be interesting. I mean, you look at the quarterbacks available now. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to say that, but it seems possible, more so than we certainly would have thought 2 weeks ago, that he might be someone who moves along. Matt Stafford is moving along. He's another guy. Detroit, terrible franchise. Absolutely bad. So is he going to go to Indianapolis or somewhere and suddenly, show, oh yeah, that's what was holding him back the entire time, being in Detroit? Deshaun Watson might be available. Going to be a fun offseason. Going to be a fun regular season finale as well. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. How crazy is that those two are going to meet in the Super Bowl? It's either the passing of the torch or I don't know what else it is. What more cliches can we come up with? The passing of the torch, cementing his legacy. I mean, we got to come up with some new stuff. None of us have anything to do. We should come up with some new cliches to work out. By the way, in case you were wondering, I read you those records. Rodgers 11-9 in the postseason. Peyton Manning 14-13 in the postseason. All behold, TB12 33-11 in the postseason. Those are the Good Old Football Podcast regular season awards of the year. Comeback Player of the Year, Alex Smith. Win-away Player of the Year, Ezekiel Elliott. Rookie of the Year, Justin Jefferson on offense. Chase Young on defense. Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald. Offensive Player of the Year, Devontae Adams. The Jay Cutler Doesn't Care first inaugural annual award goes to Dwayne Haskins. Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski. And the most valuable player, potentially, well, not going to say that, Aaron Rodgers. We'll just leave that one. Let's see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. Maybe Jordan Love's the guy. I don't know. Who knows? This is what we do, though, right? We speculate. So, Bucks, Chiefs, Super Bowl 55. Be sure to subscribe here. We'll be back with some more Super Bowl topical stuff within the next week. All right, I'm Matt Edwards. You can follow me at Matt Edwards on Twitter. If you've enjoyed it, send it to a friend. Give it a nice rating, and tell some people to listen to it. All right, it's a Good Old Football Podcast. We'll see you back here next week.